Greetings, new month, same movement. You know, and anything pre-record this bit thing here. Just get up and show up. But today I give thanks and praise to the Most High, as usual. Let the words of my mouth and meditation of I and I heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, our Savior, our Redeemer. Blessed love to each and every one. I give thanks again. It's 18 minutes past 3 in Kingston, Jamaica. And this is your boy, the Baldhead Rasta. Okay. What was it, 22? Which one is Roman? Oh, okay. That was here, message 23. What's the difference? So me has look on. Come again, go back, scroll back up. 22. Get the market. Up. Same thing, I did mark the wrong one. Alright, mark this one. Good, scroll back up, make sure I say. Alright, one was upon. Big battles, big victory part 2. The scripture is taken from 1 Kings chapter 18, verse 20 to 40. And the verse is taken from 1 Kings chapter 18, verse 39. And when all the people saw it, they fell on their faces, and they said, "The Lord is the God, the Lord is the God." Okay, I think I know where this is coming from. Okay, I could remove that. Yeah, man, the motivational quotation. The bigger the battle, the bigger the victory, and the bigger the disgrace of the enemy. Prophetic word. May the Lord openly disgrace all your stubborn and unrepentant enemies in the name of his beloved Son, Yahshua. Our message reads, "The Lord has always been and will always be the mighty in battle." When Elijah confronted the prophets of Baal on Mount Carmel, he wanted the people to patiently wait and see the salvation of the Lord. The prophets of Baal cried to their God from morning till evening, yet nothing happened. Then they were cutting themselves in frustration. However, Elijah repaired the altar and called upon the God that answers by fire. The fire of God came down instantly and consumed the burnt offering, wood, stone, and all. There is no doubt that the God Yahweh had answered by fire is the Lord God Almighty. David versus Goliath was another battle that God fought on behalf of his children by use these things to confuse the wise. The little shepherd boy used his sling and a stone to bring down a powerful giant who had been terrorizing the entire army of Israel. David was putting on the armor of God, which was unseen to others. The man of war himself fought, used the hand of David. Hence, the stone did not miss the target. Goliath said, "Awesome God." Joshua fought in Gibeon, and nature agreed with him to ensure victory against the enemies. He requested that the sun stand still, and God honored his request. There is absolutely no other choice that anyone can make but to be on the Lord's side. That is the side where the conquerors stay. You can't be away from him and expect victory. Yahweh will fight your battle and you will have uncommon victory in the name of his beloved son Yahshua. However, ensure you are not disconnected from divine instructions. Obedience is key. Trust him who can do all things, and he will reduce the mountains of problems to mere plains in the name of his beloved son Yahshua. Let us surrender all battles to the Lord, for he holds peace in the name of his beloved son Yahshua. O Yahweh, you arise and prove yourself as the man of war in the battles confronting your children in the name of your beloved son Yahshua. We give thanks for this devotional reading. I see 10 people here and only 2 thumbs up. Wow. We appreciate the 2 little support so far from the 10 people who saw here watching I and I in the dark room. We here said, or break forward. Trump tells NBC we feel reports of Camille correct. Okay, let's big war gone. I see a picture of Trump and I see a picture of this Muslim leader. This combination of picture created on February 20th. She was President Donald Trump. Palm Beach, United States, APF. President Donald Trump said Saturday that he believes multiple reports that Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah, has been killed in an airstrike are true, but stop short of directly confirming the news. We feel that that is a correct story. He was quoted as saying by NBC News. Trump also spoke to ABC News about reports of Ayatollah's death, saying, I don't want to say anything definitively until I see things, but we believe he is, and much of their leaders are gone. Earlier, Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said there are many signs that Ayatollah had been killed in an attack on his compound as part of the US-Israel campaign. End of article. And let's see international news. UN chief condemns this escalation of Security Council to meet. I see somebody holding up a placard. People hold placards during a protest during the US-Israel attack on Iran in Parliament Square in central London on February 28, 2026. United Nations, United States, APF Chief Anthony condemns escalation in the Middle East after the United States and Israel strike on Iran, on which the UN Security Council will hold an emergency meeting Saturday. I call for an immediate escalation of the hostiles and de-escalation Cheese said in a statement, saying the attacks included Iran's retaliation undermines international peace and security. The Secretary General is to deliver further remarks at the Security Council meeting in New York at 4 p.m. France, China, Russia, Bahrain, and Colombia each had to push for the extraordinary Saturday meeting, according to a diplomatic source. Russia's mission to the UN said it made the request over the unprovoked act of armed aggression by the United States and Israel against the Islamic Republic of Iran. During the Security Council meeting, we will demand from the United States and Israel to immediately cease their illegal and escalatory action and embark on a path towards political and diplomatic settlement. It added in a statement. In a letter to the United Nations, Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas called on the Security Council to take immediate steps to halt what it said was an illegal aggression by the United States and Israel. Abbas said the Council must address the US and Israel's regime acts of aggression and take the necessary and immediate measures to halt the unlawful use of force. The United States and the Israel regime shall bear full and direct responsibility for all ensuing consequences, including any escalation arising from their unlawful action. He added in the letter, the United States and Israel on Saturday carried out a series of strikes citing threats from Iran, which responded with all types of missiles aimed at Gulf states that host US base and at Israel. Yes, indeed. What is it now? Foreign Affairs Ministry urged Jamaicans to avoid travel to the Middle East. Kingston, Jamaica, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade is urging Jamaicans to avoid traveling to the Middle East amidst the recent US-Israel strikes on Iran on Saturday. The ministry is an adversary said that the government is closely monitoring military hostilities in the Middle East and urged Jamaicans in the region to exercise vigilance and to shelter in place as conditions may require. The United States and Israel on Saturday carried out a series of strikes citing threats from Iran, which responded with volatiles of missiles aimed at Gulf states that host US bases and at Israel. In an earlier video address, President Donald Trump made clear the goal was destruction of the Islamic Republic military and toppling of the authorities in power since 1979 revolution. Okay, Jamaica with specific concerns or an emergency are encouraged to reach out to the ministry via consulates. End of article. Yes, indeed. Just read the newspaper and thing. UN urge maximum restraint as US-Iran conflict broadens. People hold placards during a protest against the US-Israel attacks on Iran in Parliament Square in central London on Saturday. The European Union called Saturday for maximum restraint after Israel and the United States launched strikes on Iran, sparking retaliatory attacks. UN United Nations Chief Bonvier described the development as greatly concerning as the 27 nation bloc moved to withdraw non-essential personnel from the region, ensuring nuclear safety and preventing any action that could further escalate tension or undermine the global non-proliferation regime is of critical importance, said Von der, the European Commission President. We call on all parties to exercise maximum restraint to protect civilians, to fully respect international law, she added in a joint statement with European Council President Antio Costa. The United States and Israel launched a wave of strikes against Iran Saturday, with Israel's public broadcast reporting that Supreme Leader Ayatollah was among the target. The Islamic Republic retaliated with barrage of missiles at Gulf states hosting US base and at Israel. Okay, newspaper gone down, we have to wait till the service come back up. wait, that's something come back up. No service coming from this device, yes sir. Can't read no more people without service. I don't know what's going on with it. They wait patiently if it load up. Okay, alright, then it's never come back up. Praise God. Mm-hmm. That's the one. That's why I go in my governor. That's why I go man. You say anywhere you go, you go find people come and speak and operate in a certain manner that only show you the type of individual they are. And I allow my myself to certain ism and schism. You understand what I mean? We won't lower ourselves to certain people standard. We know better, so we will stay upon the high road. And if I was saying, so sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me. So we now make the words them, you know, affect us. Yeah, man. I'll just click on this. Click on this light, yeah. Alright, New Haven for criminals. Cops cut down 3 alleged gangsters in upscale Coral Gardens. Which part that? I'll tell you something that the place them the different name of places in Jamaica, you know. Oh, that's long there in St. James. A section of Coral Terrace in Coral Gardens, St. James, where cops say Thursday night's confrontation between wanted men and the police turned deadly. And Jacob Bay, St. James, Thursday night, fatal shooting of 3 alleged gangsters from Kingston during what the police describe as a confrontation with the security force as rattled this parish upscale Coral Gardens neighborhood and escalated a stream of warning to criminals thinking of targeting the area. There is no safe haven for them. Leave St. James alone. We are now on a path of peace and safety. We want to maintain that. Operation Officer in the St. James Police Division, Superintendent Leroy Edwards, told the Observer hours after the incident that sent shockwaves through the usually quiet community. The men were shot around 11 p.m. outside a property being used as an Airbnb in Coral Terrace. According to Edwards, information about wanted men led cops to Coral Garden on the outskirts of Montego Bay. It goes to show that even when you hide in those communities, we will still push he declared. The intelligence is that they have done robberies before. They committed a series of robberies across St. James and other parishes, the senior cop added. According to the police, two weapons were seized during the incident. One Smith and Wesson 9mm pistol with a magazine containing 13 9mm rounds and a Wacom 9mm pistol along with 4mm rounds. Police sources indicate that they have reliable intelligence. The men are members of the Spanglers gang out of Matthews Lane in Kingston West Police Division. The gang is known for contract killings, shooting, extortion, robberies, and other gun-related crimes. Up to late Friday afternoon, the three fatally shot men had been officially identified by cops, saying they are believed to go by the names Gordon Dunhype and David Facey. For some Coral Garden residents, Thursday night's incident has been unwavering. I have been here 30 years, and while you might hear about things here and there, for the police to shoot three men, that is not usual, said one man who chose not to provide his name. I love Coral Gardens. I love the people, the place. This is not something you expect to see happening here, he added. As with every fatal shooting involving a member of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the matter is being investigated by the Independent Commission of Investigation, INDECOM, as well as the Inspectorate and Professional Standards Oversight Bureau. End of article. All right. Farmers urge to report cases of predial larceny. And you will see a picture of State Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining, Honorable Franklin Witter, observes as Chief Executive Officer of Rural Agriculture Development Authority, RADA, Garnet Edmondson. It's like they're looking at a receipt book, and there's a police, inspecting the book there. So, okay, Kingston, Jamaica, Ministry of State and Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries and Mining, Franklin Witter, is appealing to the farmers to report incidents of predial larceny. He noted that too often thieves goes unreported, and this silence only strengthens criminals. I also encourage everyone to associate with farmer groups. You must be each other's keepers and supporters, Witter urged. The state minister was addressing the Jamaica Constabulary Force predial larceny sensitization session at Linstead Anglican Church in St. Catherine on Thursday. where he highlighted a surge in arrests and conviction for agricultural theft. Uh-oh. And touch an article. Let me see if I can go back to it. Different article. This one is about, oh my, no, get myself into a bind. I have to come out of this and yeah, but now I find it. Tell us send me different places. Yes, we're having some issues here. You report that arrests rose from 78 in 2023 to 381 in 2025, with convictions surging from 9 in to 209, a more than 2,000% increase. Year to date figures showed a total of 115 cases of agricultural crimes, with 34 committed in Area 5, which includes St. Catherine, St. Thomas. The value of stolen produce is estimated at $14.5 million. Enforcement efforts have led to 102 persons being arrested, with 36 convictions so far, while recovery of stolen goods has been estimated at 1.18 million. With the credited results of the five-prong approach being undertaken by the ministry, which involves traceable enforcement and compliance, public education, institutional arrangement, and legislative reform. Let me quick put on some lights. Okay. All right. He noted that the ministry has improved animal traceability with several systems in place, from receipt books to cattle tagging and the agricultural business information system. Okay, thank you so much. Bless up yourself, my my brethren. Amen. These measures not only make stolen goods harder to sell, but also strengthen prosecutorial compliance outcomes, said Whither. He credited St. Catherine as the most compliant parish when it comes to purchasing, and using receipt books Farmers in the parish have collectively purchased 591 receipt books between April 2025 and January 2026. As it relates to institutional strengthening, the creation of the Agricultural Protection Branch, APB, signaled a major commitment in tackling predial larceny, ensuring that it is seen as a threat to national food security. The institution of the APB has also enhanced enforcement as cases receive detected attention with resource focus not only on thieves but also on buyers of stolen produce. We are also investing heavily in public education, holding sensitization sessions such as this one in hotspot areas to inform farmers and promote registration and traceability, among other things, said Witter. As it relates to legislative measures, Witter cited the Agricultural Produce Amendment Act 2023, which provides for increased fines of up to $3 million and up to 3 years imprisonment. The government also broadened the definition of agricultural produce, mandate dealer registration, and expanded access to receipt books. In addition, Predial Larceny Prevention Act or related laws were strengthened, allowing for victims impact impact settlements, giving farmers a voice in the courts. End of article. Okay, seems like we did well in the film festival. Hooray. Kingston, Jamaica. Acclaimed poet Michael Smith has been named the 2026 Hooray of the Jamaica Brew Literacy and Film Festival, and accolade he received with gratitude while insisting he is simply a messenger. I do my work the best of my ability, and every day I try to get better at it, Smith said. And if or when the flowers of awards are given, I simply give thanks every time. He credits his spiritual lineage as a guiding force. According to Smith, his grandmother, Mama Lee, was a Wana woman traveling across Jamaica to urge transformation, while his father, Humbert, was a steadfast preacher. I am doing my mission in real time to advocate for the oppressed, dispossessed, and the disadvantaged of the world without apology. I am disturbed by the cruelty of this world, and I will continue to speak truth to power, he added. Mhm. Wow. Last year, Honorary Dr. Azar Weir, who attended last year's festival, praised Smith's selection. I was delighted, said Macau, one, given his standing in both Jamaica and the Jamaican diaspora community, not just as a talented poet and performer, but in several civic and charitable organizations in Jamaica and South Florida. She said, he continued, the Brew Festival impacted on the Jamaican diaspora community of South Florida is meaningful, transformative, and fairly democratic. It provides a platform to Jamaicans of different ethnic and class backgrounds to shine, to have a voice, and claim space. Speak Technology Festival as the valuable platform, but said the issues of identity remains a struggle. Yes, indeed. Flex me on. Yeah, man, Marissa, I remember. Bones of Marissa. Mhm. Yes, if Jah is standing by our side, then why should we be afraid for the pestilence that falleth by night? It's Jah will. And the Most High, Most High, Most High. If Jah is standing by my side, then why should I be afraid of the pestilence that falleth by night? Mm. Alright, let's try to balance this up so I don't fall over. Yeah, man. I blessed one, you do find task. You do find task, and I give thanks, my respect. Come like it get to you, my brethren. I know that I know just me alone it get to people are come being rude and thing, and that's how this thing I go. Because we come from a third world country, we grew up with manners and respect. You can't just say anything. I never see blessed one get so upset yet. Blessed one say, who this? My God, for yourself. Oh, that's great. Best of yourself, my host. We love you, Jeremy. Keep up your fine work. Okay. after read about this poet and so forth. Find article and thing. Watch out. A whole lot of people like that about man. Whole lot of people have, have been running from the law. There's a lot of people all over this hemisphere running from the law. As it says here, article, alleged St. Thomas shooter held after 20 years on the run. After nearly 20 years on the run, a 61-year-old man wanted for the 2006 shooting in St. Thomas was charged in relation to the crime by a detective on Wednesday. He was identified as Calvin Mowat, otherwise called Tompa Dragon. It is alleged that about 1:30 p.m. on Tuesday, January 24, 2006, Mowat approached a woman with two firearms and shot her before fleeing the parish. Wow. According to the police, in this December 2025, lawmen in St. Anne intercepted Mowat in connection with another firearm-related case. Further investigation and forensic evidence led the detective to execute an warrant for Mowat in the 2006 shooting. He was charged with shooting with intent, wounding with intent, and illegal possession of firearm and illegal possession of ammunition. Commanding officer for the St. Thomas Deputy Superintendent of Police, Warren Richest, lauded the efforts of the police in apprehending Mowat after so many years on the run. We often hear of the long arm of the law, and in the instance that arm reached back 20 years, DSP Ritchie said the cohesive collaboration of definitive efforts of the Jamaica Constabulary Force stretching across divisional roads remain in full display as we continue to build upon the public's confidence. He continued, I want to also commend the hard work of St. Thomas CIB team, whose diligent investigation and action ensured these charges were finally laid. Mowat is to appear before the court on March 6, 2026. End of article. Stunning revelation. God, Yahweh. Trial. Oh boy. One of the main buildings on the compound of the assembly, Quahal, Yahweh, in Norwood St. James. St. James, Jamaica, the ongoing trial of members of the Quahal Yahweh Religion sect, in St. James Parish Court had a stunning revelation on Friday as the prosecution, in its continued efforts to complete its case against two of the accused individuals regarding allegation of indecent assaults, suffer a major setback. Okay. Okay. No man, they're supposed to let me know who this. So you have the right place, my boss. Mm. Yes, indeed. Mm, 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 mm. Dominican Republic. Let's see what's going on over there to build economic wall on border with Haiti. Yes, Santo Domingo, Dominica Republic, President of the Dominican Republic. Last is on Friday announced that the country would establish a network of dry ports along its border with Haiti in giving his annual address to Congress as part of the 182 second anniversary of the independence, described the project as the most important logistic project ever conceived for the region. He said this represents a private investment estimate at over US 300 million, which will operate under a free trade zone regime. He specified that this was a strategic decision by the state aimed at strengthening our sovereignty through development and competitiveness. Yet the president stated that the country already has a border wall to protect its territory and that it would now build a true economic wall, explaining these dry ports will revitalize border providence, facilitate trade, strengthen formal trade with Haiti, and definitively put an end to smoke, smuggling networks. Lewis also indicated that in other border countries, such as Mexico and the United States, this model, dry ports, has proven to be an effective tool for centralizing customs control, normalizing trade, and transforming entire regions into development hubs. He added, there can be no stability, where informally reigns. Security is not achieved solely through surveillance. It also involves job creation, trade organization, and the generation of real opportunities. A dry port is an in-island logistic platform connected to a seaport by rail, road, or river. It functions as an extension of the coastal port by offering custom clearance, storage, and container transshipment service, thereby revealing congestion import areas and facilitating transport to consumption of production centers. End of article. Mm-mm-mm. Do you have to go on, scroll through, see if you find something hidden. Lifeline Ministry eyes PR to improve child division awareness. Admitting that some judges, police, and schools remain unaware of Jamaica's child division program, Justice Minister Delroy Chuck says the government is now moving to undertake a public education push to ensure more children benefit from the law designed to keep them out of criminal justice system. Chuck made the disclosure on Thursday during a meeting with the Joint Select Committee reviewing the Child Division Act, where members heard from advocacy group Jamaicans for Justice (JFJ) that lack of awareness and persistent misconceptions are limiting the program's reach. I must tell you, a lot of information that I gather in terms of how judges interpret the act has become or was because we had a meeting with them, and it is then and they're sitting there listening to judges. I realize how they misinterpret and felt that the act should be done this way. Chuck said, adding that when police in the parishes were asked about the program, some responded, "What is that, sir?" He noted that the Ministry of Justice is now looking to strengthen public education, including engaging professional communication support to ensure let me check this. I shall be back. Natty drink rise again. Have no fear for tomorrow. On what I want. The man conflict or the confusion. Cause we got something they could never take away. It's a fire, fire, a fire. We got again. Natty drink rise again. Yeah. The chalice on a praising, praising the Almighty Father. Yeah, the Ministry of Justice is now looking to strengthen the public educations, included engaging in professional communication support to ensure stakeholders understand how the law works and how children can be referred. We clearly need a PR public relation company to let Jamaicans know about the interested all the details of the child division program. And I must tell you, members, I have had a discussion with my permanent secretary that we must push and elaborate all the different matters that relate to child division and other justice services. So the more Jamaicans and stakeholders and the police officers and judges know more about how to refer matters to the child division officers, Trump told the committee. Oh, excuse me. Executive Director of JFJ, Michael Jackson, Michael Jackson, also warned that awareness remains low, particularly within law enforcement, despite ongoing training efforts. She told the committee that in sessions involving the police, only a small number familiar with the program. Between the last 3 years, we trained perhaps about 300 or more police officers, and I can tell you, when doing these trainings, if we have a total of 10 officers who are familiar with the child division program, we would we would be generous in that number. Wow. So it means that we need to do public education in law enforcement and also to with the defense counsel, because the awareness among attorneys based on what we know is it is low, and it is something that we really do need to push. It's very high among prosecutors, which is why we are making recommendations for expanding the referral program, Jackson said. Yes, indeed, they are. Yes. Look on what man I see me this in my face, so make something feel like something bit me on my hand. Could be mosquito. Yeah, yes, indeed. In that article so far. Oh boy, excuse me. Mhm. Yes, indeed. I want to leave it right here, so now I think I'll leave it right here.